guys? What's up, honorable members of the clan? You guys have no idea how much I miss you. These recesses, they're just not good at all for the clan. They are not good at all. But, anyways, we are here as promised that I am going to do the best that I can to be present this week. But we'll be doing lives instead of videos because seemingly when I do the videos, they don't hit the mark. Simply because you guys are accustomed to the Senzo Meiwa trial. Understandable, I get you. I'm not gonna force it down your throat either. But this has also kind of like inspired me to think outside the box as well, so that I don't mix my what I call this, what I do here with the Senzo Mayo. But I think you guys understand that there's a recess, and so as a result, obviously, I'm going to have to come now and again to appease the algorithm. Oh, that algorithm, people! It is so sensitive, so super sensitive. Now and again you have to upload. In fact, you have to upload every single day. That's why most of my colleagues have been uploading even stuff going back in the day when the news broke about Senzo Mayo, and they are coming forward with more like information that maybe people have forgotten about or maybe was lost along the way. The contradictions as well. I'm watching them because I do watch my colleagues and I support them 100%. So the reason why they have to do that is so that the algorithm doesn't forget about them after the 22nd of July, like some of us. We'll still have to like get ourselves back on track by the time the trial resumes. Hopefully, I would have also appeased the algorithm a little bit because the algorithms are different. The live and the video algorithm is not the same. So I hope that this is going to do something in just keeping me in favor with the algorithm. Also, I want to thank everybody that is new on this channel. And I want to say you are warmly welcome. This is a safe space. Here, we are not lawyers, we are not judges, we are not police officers, we are not investigators, we are not judges, we are not legal experts. But one thing for sure about us, we got this. And we are going to use it to the full capacity that it can when we try to stretch it with our two IQs. We rub them together and we spark our own opinions. This is something I say all the time that if you somebody doesn't understand what an opinion is, you are neither wrong, you're neither right. So there's no point in becoming emotional about something that is neither nor. You understand what I'm saying? So you are free to state your own opinion, but with respect, maturity, and of course, intellect. If you are going to drop as if you're dropping from the mountain, you will get hidden from the channel. Basically, that's YouTube's way of blocking you, but not blocking you per se. I will hide you from the channel, but you will still get my videos, the notifications, and you will still be able to watch the videos and even comment. But I won't see your comment, and never, and none of the members of the community will also see the comment. It's only you who will be seeing your own comment. If you're gonna drop in Zulu, we say, yeah, if you're gonna do disrespect, then you will find yourself in that naughty corner. And I've never seen an option to unhide you. If you are hidden, you are hidden, and you are hidden forever. So you'll be stuck in that naughty corner for a very long time. But I just want to welcome all of you that are new on the clan. You are now the official members of the clan, and it's 19,045 of you. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much. And again, from my warmest heart, I want to say thank you guys for the best day I had yesterday. Those well wishes, birthday wishes, and everybody that shared the birthday with me. Man, I love y'all. I mean, we twins like that. Your children, your children are sharing the same birthday as me. Tell them big hug. Give them the biggest hug. All right. Anyways, guys, let's get into today's video. And today's video, it's let's start with what I perceive to be a polarizing or potentially polarizing topic, the VBS Mutual Bank. The VBS Mutual Bank, I am still reading Matodzi's affidavit. Here it is. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Okay, let me put it this way. Here it is. This is the whole affidavit. It reads like a Stephen King bestseller. Like it goes on and on and on and you just when you think, okay, we are done now, it goes on and on and on. And I'm like, I get it. I get it why Tafiwa Motodzi ended up going like, you know what, guys? Can I get to the NDPP? I would like to speak to the NDPP. And of course, Shamila Batohi went to him and said, okay, now you can talk. And he'd be like, if suppose I want to talk, what is there for me? So basically, he bargained with the state. Meaning, when you bargain with the state, which is something I always say, if you know that you were corrupt at some point, and now there are revelations that are jump first, be number one to bargain with the state. You know why? Because you can negotiate it. Listen, Matodzi, he's supposed to be sentenced for a very long time in prison, over 25 years, because the amounts of charges that he is charged with, and each charge carries a 15-year prison term, right? So he decided to plead guilty, and then he was sentenced to 15 years in prison for VBS Mutual Bank saga. But of course, when you are going to bargain with the state, one of the conditions is that you are going to sing like a canary. That's the first thing. And then the MPA will look at, after you've sung like a canary, what can they do regarding your sentence? How they can mitigate it to be reduced so much so that even the public, when they hear, after hearing the amount of charges, they will still say, okay, cool, but at least you gave us the real culprit. You gave us the big fish, which I don't think he did. I think he just went for the, I would say probably in his head, rivals of the, almost at the governing party, of the ANC, but where are the big fish? You see, every time when these revelations come, you are always left with, where are the big fish? Okay, I see Julius Malem and Floyd Shivambu. We've known about them since 2018 or 2017 when this whole VBS saga broke out. Remember, the whole VBS saga came about, I think, or the expose happened after the EFF was banging parliamentary tables every time Jacob Zuma came to parliament, say, pay back the money, pay back the money. And then, of course, it came to a point where the public protector ordering or recommending, whatever the case was with that report, for Jacob Zuma to pay back the money that he built his homestead in Ngqaza, that 246 million rand, blah, blah, blah. And so he began steps to pay back the money. And the first time the people of South Africa, those that don't live in Limpopo or next door to Limpopo, those that knew there was a bank called VBS Mutual Bank. And then that's where part of what Jacob Zuma would have paid, he went and borrowed it at VBS Bank. Now, when he borrowed the money from VBS Bank, guess what EFF did? Pay back the money. And then they were like, whoa, but where did you get the money from? And then they started questioning and digging and all that stuff. And then the revelation came that it is VBS Mutual Bank. And when they did that, the chairperson, this guy, Matodzi, summons, not exactly summons, but he invites Floyd Shivambu and Julius Malema to a penthouse somewhere in Sandton. And they had a conversation. And the conversation led to the chairperson, according to his affidavit that I'm busy reading. He was like, listen, y'all are exposing VBS. How do we bury this so that you guys stop making noise about Jacob Zuma getting this money from VBS. And so they got to learn about what VBS was about. And then, according to the affidavit, this is all allegations, by the way. There's nothing factual about this at this point. Even though the MPA says they have a prima facie evidence that indeed Floyd Shivambu, as well as Julius Malema and the EFF, benefited from the looting of VBS Mutual Bank, allegedly. All right? So just always have this terminology behind your head, because it's not in court yet and they are not found guilty. This is all implications, allegations, and things like that. Okay? So then when they get to the penthouse in Sandton or somewhere in Johannesburg, Matodzi hands Julius Malema and Floyd Shivambu a check of 5 million rand as hush-hush money. Like, stop it. Don't talk about Jacob Zuma no more. And after that, if you remember very well, suddenly when Jacob Zuma came to parliament, the EFF no longer banged tables in parliament and demanding for him to pay back the money, or questioning where he got the money from to pay it back, because allegedly they were giving the hush-hush money. And but according to the affidavit, you see, I'm still doing up because it doesn't end. It's so long. According to the affidavit, Matodzi is like, no, we cannot deposit the money into EFF's account, especially with the new law that's coming where you'll have to declare your donors. And the last thing we want is our name, the declaration of the EFF where they got 5 million rand from, right? Now, so Floyd Shivambu came up with a great idea. Went to his brother, Brian Shivambu, and said, listen, we are getting cash. So now we cannot put it into the EFF's account or my account or Julius's account, but you are going to open a company, and then this 5 million rand is going to go into your company, and nobody will ever know that we corrupt, allegedly, right? So the whole expose then happens when large sums of money went into Brian Shivambu's account. Obviously, guys, you live in a country that is super sensitive when it comes to money laundering, racketeering, corruption, and all of that, all by, guess which bank? You guessed it right, the Reserve Bank. If somebody from the US or from Canada or wherever wants to send you money, it starts at the Reserve Bank in Pretoria before it is sent to you. Unlike before, somebody will go to Remit or go to, what is that bank? The blue and white one, Bidvest or whatever. And then you get it maybe like in 24 hours or so. But now it can take up to 7 days because the Reserve Bank is checking if this money is clean. It's not money laundering. It is not racketeering. It's not also process of fraud, etc. and so on. And thank you so much to the people that came to our country. And now we have a sensitive Reserve Bank. Same goes even here in South Africa. FICA was introduced, I can't remember which year. Now everything, if the amount of money that goes into your account is more than 50,000, in fact, from 50,000 going up, it doesn't, you have to fill in the FICA form, goes to the Reserve Bank to check that, yeah, it is clean or not, all that stuff. But then somehow, Floyd Shivambu went to Wits University, was my president at one point at Wits. He forgot that. He kind of forgot that. And now we are here. And the MPA says that they have prima facie evidence against Julius Malema and Floyd Shivambu and the EFF that they wrongfully benefited from the VBS looting. Yeah, let's call it for what it is. Because over 2.2 billion rand of poor people's money was not even squandered. Everybody was just going into these bag of money that did not belong to anybody but the people that put their monies into this bank. And the irony of all of this, the Gauteng government is trying to create a similar bank as VBS right now. And it said we must learn from history. I'm just going to leave it there. We need to learn from history. But anyways, right now, Matodzi is singing like a canary. What's his name? The former premier of KwaZulu-Natal is also implicated, allegedly. As I'm reading, I think I'm at that point. The meeting at the Ranch Hotel in Polokwane. This is where I am right now. Wow, people. You know, you always suspected. Anyways, before I even get there, let me finish what I'm saying here. Over 2.2 billion rand was stolen from poor people. These are pensioners. These are people that thought they were investing their money into something that is looking after the black people and therefore the black child. Because these grannies, they were investing money for their children, their grandchildren, so their grandchildren do not have to rely on NSFAS and all of that stuff. They are able to go to university paid for by the investment in VBS Mutual Bank. And there's a whole lot of other people as well that that put their monies in. Apparently, even municipalities in Limpopo put in millions of rands. And you ask yourself, why would a municipality, instead of using the money to deliver services to the people, but they were putting the money into VBS Mutual Bank? Those scandals are all there. So this guy in his affidavit, apparently it was leaked. I don't believe that. I think this is a strategy for somebody bigger who can use this as a defense and say, this is an unfair trial on me because I was exposed even before I was alerted by the MPA or whatever legal loopholes that this so-called leak is going to assist some of these people. This was not a leak. A leak probably will be like 4 or 5 pages. This is you see, I'm still going. You see, I'm still. You see this black thing here. It has to go all the way down. Let me show you. You see, there it is, all the way down. That's the affidavit. Follow this. Follow this. You see how it's going down? This is the affidavit. The whole affidavit. This man is singing like a canary and he's dropping names like this. And I'm still reading. I'm not done reading this. I am going to compile it into a video and then let you know who these people are, how much did they get, for what purposes. But right now, the big story is that Floyd Shivambu and EFF and Julius Malema, they benefited from this stealing of money. And it's very interesting because I also remember back in 2018-19 when the EFF, when this story broke, Julius Malema was like, no, we never got any money from VBS. Never met anybody from VBS before, blah, 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 blah. And recently I am listening to, what is his name? Advocate Dalimpov, who is basically silver-tonguing this entire situation. He's not saying, but he's also saying at the same time, if you can read between the lines, you can tell that he's saying, yeah, we got the money, but he's trying to look for what purposes did they get the money from, and why did it come through Brian Shivambu? What did Brian Shivambu owned that made him all this amount of money for him to have donated it to the EFF? That's like taking your entire profit of whatever business that you've been doing for years and leave your account with absolute nothing. Obviously, that is a suspicious activity. That is going to get the Reserve Bank antennas all standing up and then they'll start digging, and here they find themselves today. So it's still a developing story. Also now relearning this entire saga, and once I get the grasp, I think there is, honestly speaking, justice needs to be served, especially for those that deceased, waiting for their monies to be paid back. I don't think it will ever will be paid back because, unfortunately, in situations like this, once your money is lost, your money is lost. It's like in a Ponzi scheme. Once you put your money in a Ponzi scheme, that's it. Like, you lost. That's you lost. You're not getting it back. And apparently, there are people who are still waiting for their monies to be repaid. I mean, the bank collapsed. It's as literal as the bricks falling and crashing to the ground and making it ground zero. So there's no way you are going to get your money back. However, justice, that is the only hope that the people that stole money from them, from these are poor black people. And when we say that sometimes as black people, we have no feelings for each other, this is one of it. Like when I'm ripping you, I'm going to also twist the dagger and dig out your heart. I don't know why we do that to ourselves. And then we come onto public platforms like X and wherever and say, yeah, black people who must hlanganeni, black people, hey, hey. And then the moment the black person is in distress, everybody tries to find a place to hide. That's who we are. We know this is who we are. And VBS is showing that the way sin is corner towards each other is scary. It is like nobody, I mean, everybody's fair game. Whether you are old, you are poor, you are crippled, or is it people living with sorry, I was saying crippled, living with disabilities, or we just don't care. As long as it's going to benefit me and my family, I'm good. I'm good. Which is sad because other people are watching us. Like, oh, no, leave them. These people know how to hurt them, each other. We are the best at it. But like I said, the only thing that they will get out of this is justice. And of course, channels like The Clan, this is what we do best. Screaming from the mountaintop for justice. For all these people, once we learn who they are and trials begin, I'm definitely going to be following the trials and definitely will be looking and scrutinizing where we think or suspect that the trial is being thrown off deliberately. Because these are powerful people that are implicated in this VBS Mutual Bank saga. Powerful people in the ANC, in the EFF as a party itself, because the question now is if EFF is standing the way it is today, it's done so on the back of poor people. It has done so on illegal proceeds. And of course, when you are committing a crime, I think this is section 1 of the Constitution, of the Criminal Procedure Act. Is it Schedule 1? I think it's Schedule 1 of the Criminal Procedure Act. If not 5, I think it's 1. So who do you arrest? Of course, you have to arrest the warm bodies, and you also have to arrest the party. Now, the question is, upon verdict, what's going to happen? Will the party continue being in parliament? Will it continue to exist as a party? I don't know. I don't know what the sanctions are going to be at the end, but it looks like the future of the economic freedom fighters is looking a bit bleak. I'm not saying it is. It's from where I'm sitting and reading this affidavit. Yeah, now it's come to an end. As I'm reading this affidavit, it's screaming the party is a crime scene. Why? Because 2 people miscalculated. You know, I had a friend who used to say, not exactly a friend, like a colleague, he said, there are 2 things vehicles in South Africa that are protected with everything you can imagine. That's money and white people in South Africa. These two you can never touch because you dare. Justice will rain on you so hard that you would not even remember which day you were born. That's what people, my colleague used to say. Like, these are the two things that are the safest in South Africa: money and white people. I don't know how true that is, but we do see money being accompanied by these ginormous vehicles, and people that drive these vehicles, they're carrying these deadly weapons, you know? So I don't know. So I foresee, yes, arrests. I foresee a very long trial, and I foresee EFF, unless it changes the name during all this process to avoid, what do you call this? To avoid, what's the word I'm looking for? I'll remember the word. To avoid the consequences. Rebranding, and by rebranding, I'm talking new leadership, new name, and without Floyd Shivambu and Julius Malema and anyone else that is implicated. I could be wrong, guys. I stand corrected on all of these things. Like I said, we are not lawyers, we're not police, we're not judges, all that not shenanigan. But we do have this. And it makes sense to me that upon found guilty, you benefited from an unlawful activity, and you have a organization that stands, and even in parliament. I don't know what decisions are going to be taken there. I don't know what the law says as well about a political party that received unlawful proceeds for it to exist. I don't know. I have no idea. All of that is something that we are going to watch and see going forward. I think on this one, we will park it, but I'll be observing every single process that's going on. But Matodzi, he decided to become the state witness, and he was the chairperson of VBS. That means whatever comes out of his mouth carries a lot of weight. When he says, we met at the penthouse, that means you met at the penthouse. And he can prove it because I see attachments just towards the end of this affidavit. There are attachments, and there are what looks like receipts and some, there's all a lot going on in this affidavit. I'm going through it. I'm learning everything that needs to be learned, what Matodzi has said. And to be honest with you, and I think the law will also do the same as I am, will believe what the state witness is going to be telling the court. And if the court believes the state witness, the obvious thing is guilty, 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 guilty. Just be guilt that will be just be dished out to everybody that is implicated. Everybody that is implicated is going to jail. Now, with Matodzi, he dodged a bullet, I think, of at least 30 to 50 years in prison because he's charged with money laundering, racketeering, corruption, fraud. I think there's a fifth one, a theft. And each one of these, they carry 15 years imprisonment. 15 years, that's 30, 60, 75. Right? All of that stuff. My age is not important. What is important is what I'm thinking here. So it's crazy out there. It's so crazy, and I cannot wait to see how this develop into a trial, because we'll be seeing these people being railed before a court, especially the magistrates court, will get to hear the names. But I still think that the big fish, I'm not hearing the big fish. Zweli Mkhize is a big fishish, but not a big fish for me. Julius Malema and Floyd Shivambu, big fish, but not exactly the big fish that I would like to see being brought before the court. I don't know if it is still going to drop more, because remember, this affidavit is leaked. Maybe it's not done. There's another one for a whole new set of people. I hope there is, because 2.2 billion rand cannot be looted by few people. It cannot be. 2.2 billion. No. Where did it go to? Which Swiss bank, Cayman Island bank, Dubai bank? What else? Where else do they hide their monies? I know by law we can't get into them, but at least the law can make some kinds of estimations and also possibilities that the money, it may not be in your account right now. And I'm also thinking a lot, how many people are busy shredding since the 29th, in fact, not since the 30th of June 2024. How many people started shredding stuff? Others, they were too late in shredding, and especially on the now I'm coming to Gayton McKenzie, who is on fire. Gayton McKenzie ain't playing games. Right now, I'm sitting at the position where I'm like, why is this guy not a resident? I'm sorry. I never thought I was going to say that. Gayton McKenzie is doing the most. He is exposing what we've always suspected. I've moved away from VBS. Now I'm talking about Gayton McKenzie. I'm like, bro, did you hear him in the business in Ndaba, some business, whatnot? And he was literally showing the attendees and the skin color of them and say, where's the black child there? Where's the lie in what I'm saying? And I'm like, wow, bro. It's like, yeah, that's what you will see in JSC. That's what you're also going to see in South African business and economy. The black child is not found anywhere because the black child was sold out. And then he does defend Nelson Mandela and say, no, Nelson Mandela, y'all lied to him. And he came to us and said, guys, let's not kick them out. Let's not fight them. Let's not change the emblem of the Springbok. Let's not do this. They are good people. And who bought the story? Us. But it was all a lie. Because today, what do you own? What do I own? I wake up every single morning to go and work. Guess for what? Thank you. And yet, I still remember 1994. My mom was heavily involved in this whole. I think I did tell you guys the story about how I grew up an ANC child. I know the principles and the values and everything that we were taught. And my parents were very, very much involved. And when they sat us down and said, the people that are going to benefit from all of this is you guys. We are just laying the foundation. You need to go to school. That is what we are going to push. And my mom pushed the whole school thing. There was no way you're going to be sitting at home. No way. If you didn't go to school because you were sick, she said, I would rather see your breath leaving your body before I would say, stay at home, don't go to school today. That's the type of person she was. Because that is what or Tambo. Yes, we used to call him we used to call him that's what we used to call him as the young ones. Push education. Because these are the leaders of South Africa, but the educated ones. Some of us were allocated what we were going to study. Ask Julius Malema. Julius Malema is the child of the ANC, and I know him. Ask Fikile Mbalula. Ask the one with imagine this in your mouth. He's a child of the ANC. And he studied exactly what was allocated to him to study. So that when we go into democracy, as they said, we are going to have educated administrators of government. The governance is going to be run. The person that was going to mentor and from the pulpit was going to be Thabo Mbeki, Umalum Thabo Mbeki. Right? Those are the things that we know. But like I said, the ANC turned into an animal I don't understand. And it was, I still believe, floor crossing is what diluted what the ANC is today. Because those people came with their own psychology. They came with their own mentality and ideologies and came and diluted that of the party. But anyways, I couldn't care less. They are who they are today, and it's all nonsense. Now let's continue talking about Gayton McKenzie. Gayton McKenzie is like, look at the room. Go to JSC. The business, you lied to him. You misled him. And as a result, which is true, every time you talk about Nelson Mandela with any kid today, they will say he's a sellout. He sold us out. That is what you are going to hear to this day. And he was on fire. I was like, bro, everything you are saying in there is pretty much the truth. But now I also want to address the situation about the expose with the list of his department. I have been quiet and listening and watching people saying he is wrong. He shouldn't have not. Done this. He's violating people's privacy, and the Poppy Act was violated. And I'm like, on public funds? On public funds? That is why I feel like anybody that wants to run for office in South Africa, learn these two documents. The Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. You don't have to know the whole, book. Know the parts that are important, right? You're an American YouTuber. This is South African business, bro. You're not going to understand what I'm talking about. This is South African politics. So where was I now? I was being disturbed. So the point I'm trying to make is learn the Constitution. At least know the basics of the Constitution to qualify to run for office. Whether you're running for member of parliament, whether you're running for the presidential office, or whether you're even running for councillor, you need to know the Constitution. Secondly, the next document that I feel you should know from back to back is the PMFA, right? It's something to do with finances, how finances are operated and where they come from and how they're supposed to be implemented. This document is the number one document you should know, even like the back of your hand. The Constitution, I can forgive you by knowing a few important sections. For example, the section, let's see, this is section 195 of the Constitution. I have the Constitution right here. Let's go to it. But before you go to section 195, let's go to section 1 of the Constitution. But let's focus on subsection C, which says supremacy of the Constitution and the rule of law. All right. But in section 2, it explains it properly. Supremacy of the Constitution. This Constitution is the supreme law of the Republic. Law or order inconsistent with it is invalid, and the obligation imposed by it must be fulfilled. So we are a constitutional democracy here in South Africa. We are not a dictatorship. We are not an autocrat. We are not social democracy, whatever the case might be. We are a constitutional democracy, right? And this is our guiding document, the supreme guiding document, the Constitution. So anything outside that contradicts this Constitution, it is unlawful. You can't come with your own rules and say, you can disagree until you're blue in the face. This will supersede anything and everything that you may try to outmaneuver the Constitution, all right? Those are the things that you should know as a person that is running for office. Now, let's go to section 195, which is chapter 10 of the Constitution. Okay, let's get there. It's the under public administration, right? So public administration is these people, your presidents and all these people that are supposed to be delivering services. Now, transparency is that thing on the pyramid, right? That's democracy. Everything must be transparent in an open and democratic society. You have to be transparent. But this is what I'm just going to read just this page alone, okay? Just this page, what it says. It's very important as a South African citizen to know this thing. So the basic values and principles governing public administration, section 195, subsection 1. Public administration must be governed by the democratic values and principles enshrined in the Constitution, including the following principles. A high standard of professional ethics must be promoted and maintained. B, efficient economic and effective use of resources must be promoted. I hope you heard that. C, public administration must be development oriented. D, services must be provided impartially, fairly, equitably, and without bias. E, people's needs must be responded to, and the public must be encouraged to participate in policy making. F, public administration must be accountable. Now, this is the important part. That's what Gayton McKenzie is currently doing. G, transparency must be fostered by providing the public with timely, accessible, and accurate information. That's what Gayton McKenzie is doing. H, good human resource management and career development practices to maximize human potential must be cultivated. I, public administration must be broadly representative of the South African people, with employment and personnel management practices based on ability, objectivity, fairness, and the need to redress the imbalances of the past to achieve broad representation. Subsection 2. The above principles apply to A, administration in every sphere of government, B, organs of state, and C, public enterprises. Subsection 3, national legislation must ensure the promotion of the values and principles listed in subsection 1. Subsection 4, the appointment in public administration of a number of persons on policy consideration is not precluded, but national legislation must regulate these appointments in the public service. Everything that Gayton McKenzie has done thus far, he has to take it to Parliament, to a portfolio committee. And the first people that he comes to is us. He accounts to us. We needed to know where this 300 million rand went to. And it turns out that individuals were getting 20 million rand while the netball team gets 2.2 million rand. Make it make sense. How does a sport department goes and renovates something that has nothing to do with sports to an individual? And yet when the sports teams are seeking funds from the department, who's responsible for that gives them peanuts. And the last subsection, which is 5, legislation regulating public administration may differentiate between different sectors, administrations, and institutions. Like what we have today, we have section 9, organization, like the Public Protector, Human Rights Commission, blah, 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 all of that. They're supposed to account to us. We are the bosses. The people shall govern. That is democracy. It is bottom up, not up down approach. That's not democracy. It is us, the people. But you know what the previous 30 years they've done to us? They made sure that we did not understand the Constitution, let alone know anything about the Constitution. If you go to countries that are democracies elsewhere, you can never sideblind a person of that country when it came to their constitution, particularly when it came to their constitutional rights. But South Africans, some of the South Africans, they will say something like we are seeing on social media right now. Oh, Gayton McKenzie, he is wrong what he's doing. This is infringing on people's privacy. Hey, transparency is in the Constitution. He's doing his job. He is respecting and honoring and adhering to this guiding document, the supreme guiding document. But of course, you wouldn't know that because they made sure that we didn't understand these things. For me to understand the Constitution, I had to ask questions. Like I said, I got a mind that bothers me a lot. I got these two IQs. I don't know why they are not more so that my brain gets exhausted. They're just two. They rub, and then I'm like, okay, I need to go get myself the copy of the Constitution, and so that I understand what exactly I'm supposed to know as a citizen. But don't worry, I'm here. I'm here. We will learn. Eventually, we will understand this book. I remember one of I think it was Balegambeta, who said this is just a mere guiding document. Just a mere guiding document. That means we shouldn't take it serious. Listen to what we tell you. It has supremacy, this Constitution. And we cannot seek or dribble it or whatever the case we want to do with it. And Gayton McKenzie understands it, which is quite ironic for me, to be honest. And he's done a good job in exposing this list. And he did say that he's going to expose that individual that got 20 million rand to renovate his building. I cannot wait to hear who that person is. And what's the justification? And of course, these people were not getting this money from nowhere. They were people who were handing over these monies. We want to know the criteria, especially with the Kovovo funds. The super fan. Guys, I've always seen this woman everywhere. I'm like, wow, this lady, she really is a super fan. I didn't know that she was getting money from millions, allegedly. And yet, where South Africa is on a global stage in sports, guess what you see in the stadium? South African flag, people wearing South African regalia, showing support. Are they getting anything for that? Why these two? Where is it in our... I didn't know that. To learn that, I was like, wow. And the same person has the audacity to want to justify this injustice. What has she done with the money that she was getting from the taxpayers to improve lives? Who was she mentoring to be like her? Because she looks like an old lady to me. If anything had to happen to her, who did she mentor and show the ropes that if anything happens to me, this is how you become a super fan. Oh, this is how to be a super fan. Millions of rands are heard, allegedly, that this lady was getting. Now, I want to know why and what qualified her to do that. And Gayton McKenzie needs to get into it. And also, what was the criteria for the people that got Kovovo money? What was the criteria? Who qualified because they did what? What did they submit that qualified them? For 75,000, for 250,000, for 50,000, 20,000, all this money they were busy dishing to each other. Atamafukati's children or child, allegedly. What qualified them? What qualified Arthur? What qualified all these people? And who are the people that were excluded that really, 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 really needed the Kovovo money? So Gayton McKenzie must not just throw this at us. We want more details. And if this means there is prosecution at the end of the day, do it. Do it. That's what I'm looking forward to. Because all of this is good to make us all excited and talk about this, and there's no consequences. And I suspect Somebody somewhere is busy. If they're not shredding, they are busy trying to find skeletons against Gayton McKenzie to shut him up or have him fired as a whole. So it's getting very interesting in the government of national unity. And let me tell you something, I love it. I love, because these are the things you always suspected, like, but you could not put your finger on it because nobody is telling us anything. Nobody is showing us anything. Nobody is accounting to us, the voters. We are kept in the dark. The moment you go and seek for some information, if that information is too sensitive, there you enter your gate when the sun has set. Yeah. Ian, what's your name? The new portfolio committee for police. I'm so happy that it's him. I am so happy because that guy, I think he thinks like the Klan, or maybe he does watch the Klan. And the things that we say about the intelligence unit needs to be looked at. And sooner or later, I think it's going to also look into the so-called code unit. Why was it formed in 2020? Why the police department never had a cold case unit for 30 years? Why now? And is it Ian Cameron? I think it's Ian Cameron. Yeah. I'm liking him, and I've seen his work in the Western Cape. He does not, basically that I'm trying to say. And as a chairperson of the portfolio committee that oversees, Senzo Mchunu, you better do what needs to be done. So yeah, I'm happy so far. The first 100 days is what shows us how the next 5 years are going to look like in each department. So far, I am hearing a lot coming from Gayton McKenzie, and I'm beginning to hear things from the Home Affairs, even though I am not happy with what I'm hearing, because South Africans are not, that man doesn't say anything about South Africans. Nothing. Nothing. And yet we are the ones that voted. We are the ones that are heavily affected by that department, and yet he's not saying anything about us. And remember, I said, we are going with those that put us first. If you put us first, we notice that. We notice that. And we are writing notes, DA. And then let's talk about Luvo Ngqaza. Is it Ngqaza? That 19-year-old who betrayed his grandmother, his 81-year-old grandmother. The community apparently or allegedly dealt with him, heavily dealt with him, and he went to court today seeking for bail. His defense is that he wants to prepare for his prelim exams because he's a matriculant. And in my head, I'm like, you should have thought about that all this time. And now when I heard the story that he lived in the Eastern Cape, he's the one who begged to go to live with the grandmother in Cape Town. And this is how he thanks her. This is how he thanks her. This is crazy. You know, I think it will be forgivable if, as a 19-year-old, you go on a scaffold and another 19-year-old, and now you are arrested and you are thinking about, at least you are showing us that what you did was a mistake. You know, you are not a violent type of person because you're still thinking about the future. But now when you do this to an old, vulnerable lady, that's unforgivable. Whether you are going to write prelims, you don't have a future no more. It's dead. That future doesn't exist because you will be that guy. Your entire life, you are going to be that guy. Who is going to employ you? Who's going to even feel safe around you? If you can do that to an old lady, can you imagine what you can do to children, to the community? No, I heard allegedly that he tried to, but he did not have the tools. It's unforgivable. Absolutely unforgivable what he did to his grandmother. But the point that I want you to raise here is that he wants bail because he wants to write his matric. And of course, the grandmother said, no, don't release him, because if you do, you are sending me to my grave. He will kill me. So she's afraid of him. She pled with the court not to release him on bail. And of course, the state finds it, the state applied that it's not going to be, it's not going to be in the interest of justice to release him on bail. And I agree. The guy is a psychopath. And I always say that the moment a person shows psychopathy, lock that person up and throw away the key. They will never rehabilitate. That's who they are by nature. And that's why I feel like this Luvo guy, he must never see the light of day again in his life if he's capable of doing such a thing to an old lady. I know. I am sorry. Maybe I'm being way too harsh here, but still. And the last two, this one are just something that I observed as well during the course of last week and this past weekend. Donald Trump, like, I condemn the act that was done on him. Condemn it 100%. Because nobody deserves, I don't care what kind of a person you are, you do not deserve for anybody to take your life, right? Especially when you have not committed any crime against humanity, for that matter. But watching those images, I was like, man, bro, a 20-year-old, I think his name is, what is his name? I did write it down. A Mr. Thomas Matthew Crooks. Oh, what an irony. Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20-year-old, climbed on top of a flat roof nearby Donald Trump's rally in, I think it was Milwaukee, and fired 5 shots, killing 1 individual, injuring Donald Trump by an inch or a centimeter or something like that. I was like, wow. I think the last assassination attempt was on Ronald Reagan in 1981. I could be wrong. I stand corrected. And it's not that long ago. And now Donald Trump. Man, I was like, this is crazy. I cannot believe, I keep hearing Americans say that country is actually going to the dogs. And I keep saying, maybe you're overreacting. No, they are right. There's this bubble that is busy. And someday it's going to burst and everybody is going to be fair game. Unfortunately, the minorities are the ones that are going to bear the biggest brunt of whatever that is going to happen in the future. It's crazy. It is so crazy because these are the same people who fight for gun rights in the United States. I think it's a First Amendment or something like that, when they defend bearing arms. And here it is now, almost 18 on Saturday. Crazy. Well, the 20-year-old was shot and killed by the Secret Service. That means he went to his grave with the motives. Nobody knows what was his motive or motives of assassinating Donald Trump, which is crazy. Of course, I condemn the act 100%. I do. Not that I am a fan of Donald, but I condemn the act. He doesn't deserve that at all. But it is what it is. Man, that was crazy to watch. And then the last one, Miss South Africa. Miss South Africa. Apparently, Miss South Africa has a Nigerian in it, the final 16. And I'm like, but I know Miss South Africa does vetting. I know that in order to run for Miss South Africa pageant or for the title, you need to have a South African ID. Then I'm like, okay, let's look into it a little bit. And then I found that the name of this person in question is Chidima Adishina. I'm sorry to butcher her name. Father is Nigerian, mother is South African. Other people are saying no, the father is Nigerian, the mother is Mozambican. I don't know what the truth is, but what I think I know is that the law of domicile, one of the parent needs to be South African for the child to assume the South African citizenship. But apparently, she was born in Soweto, grew up in Soweto, and then moved to Cape Town, something like that. Clearly, she does speak a South African vernacular too, because an average South African speaks and understands at least 5 South African languages of the 11 that we have. I don't know how many of South African languages she can speak and understand as a South African citizen. But if she did provide her South African ID, chances are then she is a South African, according to logic, unless there was some kind of fraud and corruption, as we found out previously that the Home Affairs people, they're crooks. All you do is just slide some couple of thousands of rands and boom, you're a South African citizen. I mean, Ireland, I talked about this not so long ago, how Ireland blocked us from entering Ireland visa-free going forward because our passport is easily accessible. So we don't know what the real story behind this, but I think Miss South Africa pageant itself is satisfied that she is a South African because she's still running for the title of Miss South Africa. I think the pageant is going to be held sometime in November, I think. It'll be interesting if she won the title. But one thing that is actually irritating me a little bit, I'm trying to accept her that if she says she's a South African born and raised here, I'm accepting that because she does have the right to run for the pageant, as even though her name is Chidima Adishina, not Esitole, Dlamini, Dumagude, or our typical South African surnames. She's definitely, this is a Nigerian name and surname, I'm assuming, right? So now the problem is the noise that is happening outside, coming from our brothers from Nigeria. Say, yeah, a Nigerian is inside. Wherever we go, we are excellent. People are jealous of us. And I'm like, you're not helping her. You are not helping her with your arrogance. Why don't you just keep quiet, let her win the title, and then you can do that stuff once the title is on her, the crown is on her head. And obviously, this now has, of course, maybe the judges themselves, they will have this in the back of their head that let's not cause a division in this country. Let's not cause a division in this country. So she might drop at the early stages of the pageant. Will she make it to top 5? I doubt it. I doubt she'll even make top 10 because of now this dark cloud, because the Nigerians are coming through and say, yeah, everywhere we go, we excellent, we win. And I'm like, woo, it's not gonna work in her favor, unfortunately, this talk. It's not gonna work. But anyways, guys, I think this is oh no, I didn't touch Rosemary Ndlovu. Can we touch Rosemary Ndlovu tomorrow's live? Because yeah, a lot is happening. She is teaching her friend, or she taught her friend how to get rid of her husband. We'll talk about that for life insurance. So she was busy recruiting, I guess, her own friends. Crazy. Absolutely insane. We'll talk about it tomorrow, guys. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But before I go, let me read your comments. They're not much this time around. Great. Levi, hello, how are you doing? Ishmael says watching from Botswana. What's up? Botswana is in the house. SS channels, you loin. I don't know what that means. SS sexy. I'm sexy, thank you. American YouTuber, how old are you? I'm from Vegas. Where you from? Upsoul says, where are you from? Obi says, kushubile kakhulu. American YouTuber says, can you answer the question? I'm busy talking. American YouTuber, you South or weird, cool. That's who we are. William Shaoki says, your imagine this in your mouth. Yeah, I know him personally. Even though I'm older now, we may not. I don't know. Maybe you will remember me. I don't. I know all of them. I know Julius. I know all of them. My brother used to be good friends with Mr. Razmataz, and people don't know where that name come from. It's a radio, bro. American YouTubers, what are you talking about? Do you guys like us Americans? Whew. Sia says, Sia Zita says, how come we do not have these in our school syllables? That's the thing. The Constitution should at least have section 1, the preamble, section 1, the section 9, no, no, yeah, section 9, 10, 11, and 12, all the way to about section 26. Those are the sections I believe should be taught at school. Lindeni says, hi everyone. How are you doing, Lindeni? So good to see you. Summer June, we want facts and action, definitely. Summer June, love it. I also love it. Summer June says he doesn't take. Yep. Teen User says, are you in South Africa? Yes, I am. Teen User says, I heard something funny about South Africa. There's always something funny about South Africa. Trust and believe me. And if you think you are going to upset us, we laugh at ourselves. We don't get angry at anything. Trust me. We're the ones who holding this world with our it's when it comes to humor. Come here. Tia says people in my country, Russia, are freaking out. Why? KB says, happy birthday, Clan King. Thank you so much, KB. Thank you. You are the best. Ah, thanks, thanks. May God continue to bless you as I believe God's blessings are already with you. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Though my birthday was yesterday, but I accept. I accept. Thank you so much. Guys, that is it with this live today. We'll talk about Rosemary and Ndlovu. Trust me, tomorrow. I appreciate all of you for being here. I don't know if you guys like this segment. Let me know. Maybe I should just, put it in a video. I don't know. Because if I put it in a video, you guys don't watch. Y'all know. You prove me right. I mean, I tested y'all on my last video, and then there you go. You went and failed the test. Like, you failed the test. Hence the clickbaits. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. I will see you tomorrow, same time. Much appreciated. Bye, 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 bye.